Alright guys, take a stroll with me into Midtown Manhattan. We're gonna be at a very historic spot, the former Park Sheraton Hotel, which is now the Park Central Hotel. This is an infamous location because of two, and I'm talking about two very high level underworld bosses. I'll be doing a separate video for Albert Anastasia, but for chronological purposes, we're gonna be talking about Arnold the Brain Rothstein. All right, short backstory on Arnold Rothstein, aka the Brain. Born in 1882, born and raised New Yorker, Jewish American, titan of underworld racketeering and money making. That was his thing. Now, unlike most of the people that ended up living his lifestyle, he was not born poor and destitute in squalor. He actually came from a pretty affluent family, but hey, some people, they just get drawn to the excitement of illegal activity, and he was one. In his early 20s, in the early 1900s, he used his high-level mathematical abilities for gambling. That was his first foray into living the not-so-straight lifestyle. Obviously, the money that he was making, gambling, was great. He realized he had a gift and decided to use that gift in other avenues in the underworld, like loan sharking, political corruption. He also did involve himself with legitimate business. He wasn't an idiot, obviously. He was playing both sides of the fence. This dude was so corrupt, he's even alleged to have been behind the 1919 Black Sox scandal, fixing the World Series. There has been no proof because the charges were dropped, but we can most likely say that's due to corruption. Mostly everyone around that scenario basically said he was behind it, or one of the main players and movers. And then this is when he really made a name for himself and really expanded his wealth and influence. This is when a lot of guys made their wealth. Prohibition, bootlegging, smuggling liquor from Canada down here, even got into narcotics. And this is one of the golden eras when it came to organized crime, especially in New York City. Him being slightly older, he was mentoring the likes of Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Frank Costello, etc., the who's who, the biggest names, the most legendary underworld figures. He was a big homie, but he did not get involved in the whole violence aspect of it like they did. He was strictly about the moolah, okay? Now we can fast forward to the night in question. Arnold Rothstein was killed on November 4th, my brother's birthday, 1928, not his birth year, obviously. He was shot in the Park Sheraton Hotel, which is now the Park Central. The hotel sits at 870 7th Avenue between 55th and 56th Street. Around 10:45 p.m., he was in room 349. Got shot in the abdomen. We don't know who did it. You know why? Because he didn't say anything. They asked him and he was like, I'm not saying, I'm not telling you. Now the reason being that this guy who wasn't the most violent was killed a gambling debt. During that time, it was $320,000. Today, that's damn near $6 million that he owed. Not only did he owe, he refused to pay. He said, y'all cheating. That's basically what happened. He said, I lost so much and I'm too good at this gambling thing to have lost that much money. Y'all cheated me in some kind of way. I don't know how, but I know you cheated me. I ain't paying. Now, the guy who organized this gambling spree was George Hump McManus, and he himself was not one to be played with. He was known to have a quick temper, and obviously during that time, sentences are light compared to today. And he had a quick temper, and he wasn't playing with that kind of disrespect. He wasn't gonna take $320,000 from this man and just say, I'm not paying. That was a big misstep and a miscalculation by the math genius, the Brain, Arnold Rothstein. Now, he did manage to survive for about a day after being shot, but blood loss and complications, he succumbed to his wounds. And you know, that was the end of Arnold Rothstein, but he made his mark in the criminal underworld in New York. One of the first big racketeers that made like serious money, and was a mentor to a lot of the guys that were to influence the next 60-70 years of underworld criminality in New York.